But for the first time, we are getting a look inside that Bowling Green courtroom at the very moment when Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson learned their fate. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Friday at noon. I'm Brooke Hash. We've obtained the video just late yesterday, and our Clary Shaley and photojournalist Emma Gefter show us what those key moments looked like.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, it's my opinion the bailiff indicated that you all have reached a verdict.
The Brooks Houck Joseph Lawson trial unseen until now. The 10-day trial comes down to these moments. The jury decides if Houck and Lawson are guilty in connection to the murder of Crystal Rogers.
In regard to Commonwealth versus Brooks William Houck,
on the right, Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson with their legal teams.
It says, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder, principal, or accomplice.
Brooks Houck stone-faced when the verdict is read. Played back, Crystal Rogers' family on the left of the courtroom overcome with emotions. Judge Charles Sims told the courtroom no outbursts. Family members hug each other. Crystal's mother, Sherry Ballard, puts her head down. They continue to cry as Lawson's verdict is read.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of conspiracy to commit murder.
Crystal's family wipes their eyes with tissues, while the Houck family stays emotionless. Among video moments that made headlines, for the first time, we're seeing Crystal alive in video surveillance shown in court. The video shows her and her son going to Walmart the day she disappeared, and key testimony.
But he said he'd been shave their head and pull their teeth and the hogs would do rest.
Okay.
This is from the direct examination of Charlie Girdley, a former employee of Brooks Houck. This was testimony the jury asked to rewatch.
Do you remember any conversation we had about Joey, about Crystal's car that week? Can you say it one more time?
He said he would bury it with a skid steer. Nobody ever found it. He even come up to me and said something about Brooks wanting to get rid of his old lady. He wasn't the man for the job that I was.
In this trial, there were many references of the unindicted co-conspirators, Brooks Houck's mom, Rosemary, and Nick Houck. In secret recordings, you hear mother and son talking evidence.
So they took his car from him? No, that wasn't the sheriff. He was worried about that at first. Is there anything on it? Okay. Don't matter.
For WHAS11, I'm Clary Shaley on your side.
Now, just yesterday, Sherry Ballard released a statement specifically thanking the FBI and lead investigator in the case, saying in part he never forgot a birthday of our daughters or an important anniversary date. Always reaching out to the family. I would personally like to thank his family, too, because I know this job took a lot of that time away. Don't forget, we have so much more coverage of this trial, including more video from the courtroom on our website, WHAS11.com. You can also find more on our app. It is free to download in the App Store. Well, former Bardtown Police Officer Chief, McCubbin, who's best known for firing Nick Houck during the Crystal Rogers investigation, entered into an informal agreement with the Jefferson County courts related to a domestic violence charge of his own. McCubbin was arrested last month in Louisville on a misdemeanor domestic violence assault and harassment charge after police say he got into a physical altercation with two people. He did agree to an alcohol assessment as part of that agreement and is scheduled back in court in December. McCubbin told WHAS he would not be commenting at this time. The man who shot at Mayor Craig Greenberg while he was running for office has been sentenced to 2 years in prison. Quintez Brown pleaded guilty on his state charges this week, which included attempted murder and 4 counts of wanton endangerment. In 2022, Brown walked into Greenberg's campaign office and fired 6 shots at him, one of which grazed his sweater. Greenberg and 4 staffers were in that office at the time. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Brown had already pleaded guilty in federal court, sentenced to 17.5 years in federal prison. In a statement, Mayor Craig Greenberg said he is relieved there will not be a trial, so he and the other victims don't have to relive the trauma from that day. He said violence has no place in our political world, and as a fortunate survivor, I will continue to work with strong resolve to end gun violence in our city and country. Louisville Metro Police are investigating the death of a man on the 2nd Street Bridge last night. They said he was riding his moped without a helmet around 6:15 when he struck the curb, causing him to lose control and hit a bridge truss. The crash shut down that bridge during rush hour, and it opened around 8:30 last night. Blue skies and those Toy Story clouds for us on this Friday. Matt Breland.
A good way to put it there, Brooke. Yeah, we are seeing a very sunny, typical July afternoon for us here across the Commonwealth. You'll notice our skies still staying quiet and dry. Temperatures, though, are really revving up. We're in the upper 80s right now near the Louisville International Airport, upper 80s as well near Bowman Field. Winds out of the west at 9 miles per hour. The rest of us seeing those temperatures in the upper 80s. It's a hot one out there this afternoon. 86 Shelbyville, 86 for you guys near Brandenburg, 87 for you folks there in Seymour, Indiana. You'll notice on satellite and radar over towards our east, we're seeing a few of those very small isolated stray showers. Some are trying to develop closer towards Bardtown, but you'll notice just as soon as they pop up, they begin to shrink in size. That pattern is still going to be around for at least the first few hours of our afternoon, but otherwise we're still expecting mostly dry and mostly sunny conditions. Going throughout the rest of the afternoon, you can expect the temperatures to range into those lower 90s. We'll still stay under a sunny trend throughout the evening time. Through the night, quiet and dry, and we'll be starting our Saturday morning off with a few small passing clouds, and some brief isolated showers will be possible before they turn into more scattered showers just into the later parts of the afternoon. So keep in mind today, hot temperatures ranging into the lower to mid 90s. Chances for a few of those very small isolated brief showers will be around, but we're going to continue to bring in more chances for showers for this weekend. All the details about that forecast will be coming up here in just a few short minutes. Brooke?
Matt, thank you. The state's medical cannabis program is facing more legal challenges this week. A Louisville-based attorney filed a lawsuit on behalf of businesses who did not get drawn in that license lottery. Attorney Greg Troutman claims the problems go back to the program's creation and that it may have exceeded what the state legislature permitted. He said the General Assembly did not specify if the Office of Medical Cannabis could ask a third party like the Kentucky Lottery Corporation to do the draws. Troutman also takes issue with the draw itself.
There was supposed to be transparency in the process, and that transparency was that individuals were supposed to be able to visualize and view the drawing. All you had was a computer and a screen and a random number generator that populates with numbers. How do you, as a watching that, know how those numbers were drawn?
A spokesperson for the Office of Medical Cannabis said with the General Assembly's approval, the office developed a lottery system that is completely open, transparent, and viewable to the public. We are confident that any court will uphold the process. Walmart is recalling over 800,000 water bottles after 2 people were left with permanent vision loss. The United States Consumer Product Safety Commission just issued that recall yesterday for the 64-ounce Ozark water bottle after reports came in about the top forcibly popping off when trying to open the bottle. They said this can happen when carbonated drinks or juice and even milk are in that bottle for a while. 2 people now have permanent vision loss, and 1 was hit in the face by that top. Anyone with the bottle is encouraged to bring it back to Walmart for a refund.